Hello, everybody. Continue on demo tutorials for both units, COIT 12206 and COIT 20261. Last week or last session, we had covered up to week 8, and I told you that the last task within week 8, we have created something called HTTP CLI, the client from CLI. And I mentioned to you that keep that because you will need it for the next tutorial. Today, what we will go through, we will create a self-sign certificate on the server, and the client over here will use this self certificate or self-sign certificate to log in to the server as a known client. How we do that, let's jump into the tutorial. I have created for you a step-by-step screenshots as well, so it can be really easy for you to follow. And if I gone quickly, I don't think that going quickly today it's going to be a good idea. Especially we will type within file like configuration files, and any simple typo, that the digital certificate will not work. Yes, it can be generated, but it may not be working. We can fix that. We can go backward and we can fix everything, but it's better if we review the work rather than to do troubleshooting and goes back. So let's go here and start the work and minimize that one. The first thing to do before anything, just to go back over here and try to find out that if you can ping from the client to the server or not. That was 3.10. Yes, we can reach that. Cool. Done. So for you, I can ping from here to here. Now let's start with the very basic steps. So we will create our own website. I'll put this one onto the server first. I'm going to create that onto the server. Let me take you to the here. I don't want to work on the root. So let's go here. Let's open the file directly right away, and let's go back to here, and we put create our website. So I'm going to put a website on the server, and let's see that if we can reach that or not. So here it is. That's what is the IP address. That's 192.168. That's 3.10. And what is the website? Let's make up a site called your name or your student ID, whatever you like. It's okay with us. That's it. So save that and just make sure that that has been saved. And yes, at the bottom here, let's ping www. It pinging. Now it ping from the server. We want to make sure that it can ping from the client. And that's the whole idea. So can I ping this one from the client? No, as you can see. Let's see at the end of this tutorial, can we reach that or not from the host, from the client. So the first thing we do, we create our own website, and it been ping, everything is cool, no problem with that. And let's go over here and try to see that if we can ping. Yep, here it is. One more time. Yep, here it is. And let's go here to create the self-signed certificate. Some of your classmates, I have noticed that some of your classmates, when they try to stretch the screen here, the command line, or it didn't. So when they try to type the whole command, it didn't roll over to the second line. Rather, it goes back again. Anyway, it makes trouble for them. So what I did exactly, I created them two versions. One of them, if you can type the whole command in one line. The second one, if you cannot. So just only the inline. Let's go with the first one if we can over here. Let's open SSL. And I'm going to require X509. And over here, the nodes. And days 365 days. New key. Can you create a new key? Use the RSA 2048 length. What is the key out? NGINX self signed dot key. What is the out? I need NGINX. The same thing, self signed dot CRT. It's work, as you can see that, so there's no need for the one in the top. Just please review the command correctly, make sure that there is no typo, there's no whatever, and we will see that what's happening after that. So that's OpenSSL require X509. Can you see that? Here it is. 509 nodes, days 365, and new key, the RSA 2048, key out, NGINX, and that's the self-signed that key, and the out NGINX self-sign that CRT. Here it is. I'm gonna hit like that. It tell you okay, everything is okay. Now it's gonna ask you a few questions. What is the country? That's Australia. What is the state? New South Wales. What is the city? That's Sydney. The organization name, I'm gonna put it under my name. The organization unit name, the same thing. Here it is. This is the one which is, you need to put the whole thing. That's the full qualifier name, www, whatever your student name, whatever it is. What is the email? Put email at whatever yours. That's it. That's it. If I type something like this, you will find that two new file has been created here. If you want to see how it look like any one of them, just type cat ng whatever, and for example, the certificate, here it is. That's how the certificate look like as encrypted certificate using RSA, the algorithm, and the length of the key 2048. That's it. That's it. Nothing more than that. Now, let's jump into the second step. I want to install the certificate. Well, we need to create those type of directories. Then we copy those certificate from wherever it is right now. So whatever is being created here, we want to copy those ones into specific directory under what we call the SSL directory. To do that, I need to create those two directories first. So let's start with creating directory that's -p, and the etc over here, SSL, and over there, just type the certs. So can you create a directory within the SSL and you call it cert? Yes, here it is. Let's go for another one here and call that private. Done, done. Now I'm gonna copy those two files with the certificate and the key. We will copy those ones to those two directories. So I'm gonna copy that one, the first one. I'm gonna copy the nginx, as you can see that the cert. Where you want to put it? To the directory which I just create, which is the cert, as you can see that. The same thing, I'm gonna do that with that's the key, and where you want to put it as well. And over here, I'm gonna put it into the private. Done, done. That's it, that's it. So up to here, we have installed the certificate into specific directory within the server. Okay, here is the idea. Now we want to go to create what we call that self-site configuration file. And that's the file which we will direct, let's say, assign those keys into that file, or the certificate and the key to that file, the configuration file. So we will create a new file inside a folder called snits inside the nginx. So I'm going to create a new file. That file inside nginx, inside something called snits, and here it is. I will type this one. Just make a difference from the self-signed one word. Make it over here, self-signed two words, and make this one conf. That's it. That's it. So review things like that. Everything is cool. Here it is. It's open for you a fresh, brand new file. Now we will need to type those statements accurately. Since I have seen most of your colleagues, classmates, many students, they mistyping here, specifically in that file. So we will type the SSL underscore over here, certificates, and can you give me the direction? And here, that's the certs and the nginx self-signed .crt. Here, review, let's make okay. That's SSL as well. Certificates and certificate underscore key. That's etc, SSL, and private. Over here, nginx self-sign.key. Please review that. Let's review that carefully, because any mistake here, it will bring us again to the way of troubleshooting and do the work one more time. So that's the SSL certificate. Yep, etc SSL cert nginx self-signed that's CRT. Yep, and the same thing certificate underscore key etc ssl private nginx self-signed dot key. It seems okay, no problem. Let's save that file. Control O, enter Control X. And if you want to see how it look like, just to go back and change this one into cat. Here it is. So we done with that? Yes, we're done with that. We ask you to create a backup for the default. What we will do in the next step, we will edit the default site, let's say the default citing folder, not configuration folder. So we want to make sure that if you've done any mistake and it didn't work, you have a backup for the default one. So in short, we can go back to the same original server. In our case here, in my case here, usually I replace the server itself because we actually work on virtualization. So if I have problem with the server, take the server, put a new one, and do the work. But here we try to represent a real environment, like hardware environment. So let's create you a backup. So easy as that. What I do usually, copy. So the etc, the nginx, the sites available, and the default. Okay, so where do you want to back it up? Back it up to the etc, the ngix as well, the sites available, and the default. Just to give it, instead of default, I put it for me. I like to put it like that. Just make it that to default backup. Here and here. In case if we have any problem or the server, whatever, but that's, I just put it in here just only to follow the steps for your tutorial. However, in reality, I usually prefer to take the server and put another server. Now, what we will do, we will go to that site available, which is the default site configuration to do some changes inside. So what we will do, here it is. I'm going to go for nano. That's the etc. Inside the etc, you will find something called ngix. Inside that, you will find site available. And inside that, you will find something called default. You open that. That's the file you will need. So we will modify few things here. And as, can you see this one? That's a listen. 443, that's SSL. I'm going to add over here HTTP 2. That's it. That's it. This one to the listen. Similar to that, HTTP 2, version 2. Default server. Now we will add 2 more lines. What I'm going to do, I'm going to type include. Can you include snipped, the folder snipped? Okay, I'll type it instead of copy and paste. And self-signed.com. The file we just created with 2 lines, if you remember. So we want to include the snippets that's inside the snippets. We have created that nano file or the configuration file, and we name it self-signed.com. Yes. Then after that, I'm gonna type the server underscore name, and sure, that's www, that's tl1.com. Okay, let's review that. Everything is yes. We haven't changed that. That's include snips, self-sign.conf, and the server name www. Yes, I don't see any problem here. Now let's save that. Here it is, and here. How we know that if that's work or not? Just type nginx minus t. You can see that something here it tell you that, oh, that's okay. So the test, you test the website. Testing the website, it seemed okay, no problem. Another command, I need to restart the ngix. Just type restart. Here it is. Now that's restarting. So the ngix has restarted. Now let's go to the site, whatever the site, site. How to go from the site? Let's go to the host here and see that. Can you still ping the www? No, still you can't. Okay, so what about if I used, can you fetch that? What about if I use that -k https www.tl1.com? Couldn't contact the server. Oh, okay. What's the issue here? Maybe because I didn't create in the, could be, could be. Maybe because I didn't put over here. www.tl1.com, and here it is. Now let's go back again and hit here it is. Easy as that, easy as that. No hassle, no headache, nothing. So what you have done here, you can access that, whatever that file, whatever the inside the ng, welcome to the ngix, from the server, from the server. You can access that easily like that without any hassle, without any whatever, from the host. This is tutorial number 9. I hope that that was helpful. Have a good one, and I'll see you in tutorial 10.